This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
Look at those lazy dogs over there. You know, that's what you picture Mary Lou and John Boy doing in the background until it's their time. You know what I'm saying? They just sit there and do absolutely nothing. Hey, look at that. We have 70,011 freaks now. All right. Finally hit the 70,000 mark. Took a while there, but you know, might fluctuate here and there. We have weird days sometimes where you lose a whole bunch of subs, but there's 70,000 people who just enjoy being abused, according to it's so hilarious. You know, here's the part that's hilarious. When you go to other channels and they're and you see people talking about their experience on my channel, they make it sound like it was, I mean, just the most horrific event that ever happened in their life. And all of you, when you watch, it's like, what in the hell are they talking about? It's bizarre, really. Absolutely crazy stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I don't even get it when they say shit like that. It just drives, it doesn't drive me insane. I just look at them and go, wow, are you that stupid? See, right there, Gray, see? No, they're not survivors. They're idiots. These people that I'm talking about. Yeah, but I thought we'd talk about some other stuff today. Like we used to do all the time. Let's see. Do you guys kind of like having that? It'd be kind of weird. It's sort of weird. I mean, it's almost like, you know, the replay. If you just re-uploaded it again for the replay crew, and they have people to chat to. He doesn't store the chat with the video, but at least people are able to talk with somebody else. So it seemed like people like that. I wonder if there's a way to do like a shorter version, you know, maybe an hour version of the show or something. Yeah. Thanks, Tracy Nixon. Oh, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. It's too hot over there in here right now. Oh, don't know what that means, Dom. Alright, hold on, I gotta turn on the bots so that somebody doesn't say, Gray, the bots aren't working. Okay, there we go. Oh, if it works good, you could be a YouTube abuse content creator who loves to gamble away everyone's donations. Yeah, that would kind of suck, wouldn't it? I don't know who you're referring to, but yeah. I mean, the thing is if people send in super chats to channels, that aren't donating any of their money to anything, you shouldn't care what they do with it, right? If they go to gamble it away and drink like a fish every single night, you know, that's what they're doing with it. But I feel like I have a standard here where, you know, I don't buy anything like, wow, you know, just stupid, crazy stuff, right? I'm trying to, you know, we donate a ton of money to charity, and you know, you save up for buying better equipment, that kind of thing. My computer, even though it's a really good one from 3 years ago, it's just that, 3 years old. Now there's like 1,000, you know, every other year or so, every couple years, they really improve them dramatically. Which it's kind of lame because they could have improved it that much way before, but they didn't do it. But you notice how, like, tonight we have 134 people watching right now, when if we were talking about Delphi, there'd be 400 just because you put that in the title. Yeah, my first computer meltdown, then I got this one, and now this one's starting to act up a little bit. Huh? I don't know which one. What poor girl? Which one are you talking about, Miss K? I don't even know what that means. Welcome, Brandy C, to Oogla Boogla Freaks. I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM. You know, it's a good one. I don't know if it's just that. I'm not even sure what's going on, you know, just over time. Here, I'll tell you what I got. Hold on. I'll tell you what I have on my computer. It is a Intel Core i9 9900K, 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's got massive hard drive, SD hard drive space, and then some external drives. Well, there you go. Windows 10. I'm sure many men have shot their wives today. Sooner history. Yeah, happens all over the place all the time. Hey, thanks, Mag. That's right, 70K! Boom! You know what I'm talking about. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna get going on some... There was an article on Summer Wells, by the way. But you notice how I didn't put it in the title? Because I didn't want to, like, get hits... Like, oh my God, look at it, he's talking about Summer Wells, and then fake people out. I'm just bringing up this quick, you know, it's kind of an interesting headline here, right? Where it says, a very real possibility that she wandered off. TBI continues to investigate the disappearance of Summer Wells. Well, that's interesting. The worst case scenario would be if she wandered off and then was abducted. Because then you have no clue about anything. Right, so let's,
and the TBI reiterated there's no marked 6 months since the family of Summer Wells reported the 5-year-old girl missing.
Law enforcement continues to investigate her disappearance. Still no leads. Summer was reported missing by her family June 15th. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an Amber Alert for her the next day. That alert remains active as the search continues.
Today on Twitter, the TBI said they're continuing to follow every lead. They said the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office will not stop working until they have answers about what happened to Summer. And the TBI reiterated there's no evidence that Summer had been abducted. They're continuing to explore all the possibilities.
At this time, there is no evidence that she was abducted. However, all avenues continue to be explored, including foul play and the very real possibility that she wandered off and became lost in the mountainous and rough terrain surrounding her home.
It's where they actually gave that the most legitimacy. And you know what that tells you? It tells you that the investigation they've done so far has not pointed to Dawn or Candace or any of those people there, right? So even, you know, my main theory was that something happened and it was covered up. And then the second one would be that, well, I didn't really have, you know, the second one was just, you know, it could be anything. Wandered off, abducted, whatever, right? And there's nothing seemed like, oh yeah, 100% this. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it? After all that time, they are actually seeming to be emphasizing that she wandered off. And so that's what we even talked about that a while ago. I made a map that extends out like 5 miles in each direction, and it is absolutely wilderness out there. And if she wandered off and got lost, you know, with the animals and the terrain being summertime, I mean, anything could have happened out there. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Tracy Nixon. Alright, so that was that update, and we're going to go on to... this is sort of related to, you know, Jen B. She made that petition to have people for geofencing of the phone in the Jason Landry case.
On a gravel road outside Luling, it's light. Today marks 1 year since Jason Landry went missing. He is the Texas State student who was heading home for Christmas but never made it there. Investigators found his car on a gravel road outside Luling. Its lights were still on and there were some of his clothes scattered around it. Now investigators hired by Jason's parents want to use cell phone data to try and find out who might have been with him when he disappeared. They are pushing for what's being called a geofence warrant. Basically, that reveals information about cell phones that were in close proximity
That's weird. That's Jen B's
at the time he went missing, but they do need probable cause to get this type of warrant.
It's a court-approved process, the geofence, and they have to look at this as a...
See, that's what she was told when Jen, yeah, you're right there. She called over there, and the person told her, yeah, well, you need probable cause, like there's an actual crime that was committed. I don't know, man. I think it needs to be a little different than that when you have the circumstances like this, very suspicious circumstances with a car. You know, I think he might have, you know, he might have hit his head and wandered off, but he's not doing anything intentionally. So that should sort of supersede any kind of worry about, you know, people's rights. I mean, you're just trying to figure out what in the hell happened to him, okay? That's it. Something probably bad happened to him because his car was in a wreck, then his clothes is scattered around on the road, and he's gone. So how could that hurt?
Crime that could have taken place rather than a
so
missing person.
Here's what they say.
Probable cause to get this type of warrant.
It's a court-approved process, the geofence.
Well, make a case.
At this as a crime that could have taken place rather than a missing person.
For more information on Caldwell County's investigation and officials'
Who cares if it's a crime? The guy didn't intentionally disappear.
Now, for a little more background on this,
there
is a debate surrounding geofence warrants. Now, according to the Harvard Law Review, much of that debate comes from whether searches like this go against the Fourth Amendment. That guarantees people's rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. The data used in the warrants comes from search engines like Google. It gets a little tricky because some argue that's personal property.
I guess it just cut off right there. Geofencing, however, requires a warrant in order to authorize its use. Specializing in criminal investigation at the Caldwell County Sheriff's Office, the request for a warrant requires evidence. I wonder if this will be a longer explanation. Is this?
Today.
That's the same story, right? How about this one? That's about a vigil. Well, I mean, we all know the case. You know, we've gone over it 1,000 times. His car, we even have the whole route of his car and where it drove. And then it just kind of drove up this road, and it went off the side of the road, and he's been missing. Like, they couldn't find the guy. So it makes you wonder if something nefarious happened. So that's why you would think that maybe they would say, yeah, let's see what cell phones were in the area, just to check to see if there was another one right at that location. It couldn't hurt. And they're running out of time, apparently, to gather the information. Oh, okay, let's see what this says. Awesome. And right now we're at the halfway mark of the month. Is this a video? Or?
Yeah, Geofence is a tool that's used by law enforcement when they're trying to find an unknown number associated
with activity
associated with a Google account. It could be
clothing.
kind of Google services, right? You don't pay for any Google service because you are the customer. And so what Google does is they use your data to make informed decisions, and they sell that information to other companies for various activities, right? Law enforcement, we have the ability, you can exploit that information and use it to help determine who is in a particular time and space at a very specific moment. There's no reason to do that. You have to have probable cause of a crime, right? Constitution and the Fourth Amendment requires that law enforcement have a warrant to obtain that data. There's an expectation.
Well, I'll tell you what, if that's how it is, they need to change the law to state probable cause of a crime or a person being unintentionally missing. Something like that, because it's really obvious. The car crashed. There's, went kind of like in a ditch and has, damage to it, and then there's clothing all over the street and everything. So it's kind of obvious. So there needs to be some other wording in there.
Of privacy, and that everybody should enjoy. We would love a geofence. However, in this specific incident, we don't have any reason to believe a crime occurred. I know that's hard for people to kind of wrap their head around. And while it is a missing person case, and it is certainly tragic, that doesn't make it a crime. And in Texas, it's not against the law to be a missing person.
Yeah, but that's not what he's doing.
And unfortunately, we can't make things up.
You're not making stuff
have
up.
All the signatures in the world.
These guys don't want to
look. The signature I really need is from a judge. And so while
we can't make things up, it makes total sense to us that his car crashed, his clothes all over the highway, and he just walked away to start a new life. Yep, that makes sense to me. So we're not even going to.
That can be a tool that can be useful.
That sounds like an idiot.
In this case, even if we were able to obtain a search warrant for the geofence, we don't feel like it would be useful. There's no areas out there that collect Wi-Fi, so the likelihood of us even getting a return having sought.
I don't know about you guys, but that's how I would want to go missing, right? Just ram your car into a ditch and then start throwing clothes around and leave all your crap in the car and just walk into oblivion somewhere. Because that's how I always thought, well, that's a good way to do it. It's stupid.
Geofence
I almost want to listen to that again.
Cases, which have been far more populated of an area, we don't feel strongly that even if we were to seek a warrant to authorize the geodata, that we would get anything productive.
Here's what I would do. I would sidestep this guy, go to somebody else. That's what I was telling Jen, to write a letter to the judge and say, listen, these are the circumstances. They haven't even asked you yet, and I don't know why, but listen, look what's here. Okay? There's only two things here, that he's missing unintentionally or there's foul play. Unintentionally he hit his head and then he wandered off and died somewhere. Something like that, right? So there's only two options, and both of them are where you would think that they could go get some of that information. Hey, Marty McFly, thank you. How's that skateboard working for you? That's the other guy, though, isn't it? No, Marty is you. Who's the other guy? The dad. What was his name? I greatly appreciate you covering cases the respectable, ethical way, and willfully donating a large your portion of your hard-earned money. Yep. Well, it's all because of you guys. It's the generosity of the freaks that make it happen. So that's what I would do, Gen B. You gotta sidestep this person here. This is Captain Jeff Ferry. Man, that's what the captain is? Whew. Wow. Yikes. Alright, moving on to another. These are the shorter stories here. How come I don't see George in here? Is there a George? Hold on. Who's George? Yeah, I don't have a George in here, so might have to. That means they have me blocked, unless I can find him. Hold on. Yeah, I don't have a George in here, so we're gonna have to block George. Oh, George McFly. Come on, you guys, tell me. You guys are talking to like a George. You guys are crazy, man. It sounded like the other thing the other night. Say, Gray, the dad's name is George McFly, not George. LOL George, like you're laughing at something George said. Man, you guys are, man. I need to have a girl code button. Okay, where is this thing? I think it's gonna sound like this one right here. No, not that one. Where's the? I think it's there's more. There's like an alarm one they've got. What the heck is it? I need. No, that's not gonna do it. Oh, there it is. Girl code. Girl code. Code girl. Code girl. Code girl. Code girl. Oh my God. There we go. We have just deemed this code girl. There we go. All right. Perfect.
Gosh, did you hear Gray making fun of girls? He said code girl.
Well, no, Mary Lou. I was actually saying that they have a language they speak that nobody else seems to understand whatsoever. That doesn't mean anything negative at all.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, see how dumb? I mean, Mary... wait, I said dumb Mary Lou was.
God, Gray.
Forget it. Oh, shit. She's gonna... Oh, boy. All right, now we're on to this crazy, very beautiful model, Thai model. I shouldn't have said beautiful because that's her job, and that makes it sexist to say that she was beautiful. But anyways, a Thai model, 23, who just moved to New York City, says she's lucky to be alive after being put in a chokehold, punched in the face, and robbed by 4 a.m. Manhattan subway. Well, here's first of all, don't ever go out of the subways. A single woman in New York, anywhere near that time. Okay, you know, maybe 7:30, 8 in the morning, perhaps. I don't care what you were doing. Don't be somewhere where you need to be on a subway at 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 a.m. So her name is, let's see, Boo Jirajari. God, I can't say that. Are you kidding me? Look, I'm going to put this in the chat. And somebody try to phonetically say that last name. Jirajariwich was brutally attacked while waiting for a subway on the 34th Street Herald Square subway platform. Alright, so we're going to go down and check this out. Look at that. Alright, the guy just kept punching her in the face. I've seen the video. That's what she looks like. I mean, you know, very pretty, but here's the Hopefully it'll play. I don't know. If
From our wedding day.
Oh, an ad. Yay.
To our new baby.
All right. That'll be done in just a second. Alright, so there she is right there, waiting at the subway at 4 a.m. And then a guy just kind of comes up from behind, I guess. It's really kind of spooky. Creepy. Look at it. Look at this just absolute barbarian monster. I think it was just for robbery, I guess. Or maybe he switched it to robbery. I don't know if he's trying to just grab her. Yeah, look at it. Look at this guy. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, when he gets to prison, there need to be some people that just get to punch him in the face like 50 times. Oh, there she is, bleeding and just, really struggling. Yeah. I guess it's just, you know, I don't know what you call it, but look at, here he is jumping over like a turnstile. I think that's him either coming in or leaving. Coming in or exiting the building. I don't know. But that's her right there. I mean, she looks like she's probably a pretty high-end model, you know, so. But she just got punched in the face many times. Okay, there's a video of him walking out, I think. Maybe they'll do an ad again. Oh my god! Maybe he thought it was, what do you call it? You know, the same reason a lot of stores get looted, you know. He was just owed it by society. You just never know. So there he is. That must be on the way in because he doesn't have that bag anymore. Yeah. Looks like he's probably like 40 something. Yeah, the Crime Stoppers is 1-800-577-8477. I mean, look at that. He just pummeled her over and over. Doesn't look like she has any permanent cuts or anything like that, but man, how brutal. You know, that must be for someone like that. You're, you know, 20, what is she, 23 years old? She's going there to be a model, and that's how she can make a living. And then she gets pummeled in the face, and that might take a month or so to get back to normal again. Like, there's no way, you know, how do you make money during that? Because they usually just go out and get a gig here and there. If I was her, I'd just get the hell out of here. You know, go to like LA maybe, but that's shitty too. You know, this whole, you know, defund the police and the sort of the woke bullshit mentality of, you know, turning your cheek, looking the other way when all these people are robbing stores. I mean, have you seen what's going on in San Francisco? It's an absolute embarrassment. The most liberal mayor that you've ever seen just now said, we need to get more police officers and we need to have them start deploying more force here. And she even cussed. And it's like, oh, finally you're coming around, right? I mean, it's weird how it's always, you always look at it like that. You have those thoughts of that when you're young. You're trying to be really, oh, we're so peaceful, kumbaya, who cares? They're just stealing items, who cares, who cares? But when you're older, your brain kicks in, and you realize that you can't allow, in a society, a free society like this, you can't allow people to do those kind of things and remain free. It's sick, okay? So I don't care what political party you're on. You shouldn't be cheering any of those riots over the last 4 years. You shouldn't be cheering any of the looting that's going on. You shouldn't be cheering any of this shit, because it's disgusting and has no place in this country, for sure. It's and that's why you need leadership that actually wants to stop the damn thing. God, not like, well, you know, it comes from a place of, oh, shut the hell up, man. I don't care what place you think it came from. It came from a place of evil and just greed. You know, how about when you go to school, learn something? You know, how about we get better education too? I mean, that's another thing. I'm so angry right now. Just thinking of it just makes me mad. You know. Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate that he had to get out, Randy, because we probably need him in there. We need police officers. We need more. We need double the police officers. Okay? That's what we need. We need as many police officers as to eliminate crime. Crime is shit. Sometimes I wish we had Singapore-like laws, because crime would go over or be done real quick if it was Singapore laws. You deal drugs there, you get executed. You do anything, you know, boom, boom, boom. Everybody just lives there like normal people. There's hardly any crime there, because the punishment for crime is horrendous, right? I mean, I don't know if that's what we have to go to, but, you know, nobody wants to do that, but we have so many freaking barbarians that live in this country. I bet we have 1 million people at least wait, hell, that's just way under. I think it's like 2 million people that are just not good people at all, that go out, and that doesn't even include the ones that are in prison. I mean the ones that are out and about, moving around. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think you can have, you know, the training to be a police officer. You might be able to wash out some of the garbage that they were taught in school. You know, you got, I mean, yeah. It's so frustrating, you guys. Because what's going on is, like, here's the thing. There are police shootings, and, you know, when a white officer shoots a black person, it becomes a huge story. In a year, maybe there's 4 or 5 of those. You know, not any one of them, you don't want to see that happen. But it turns out, like, most of them are actually, there's a justification there. But it becomes this really big story, and the only reason it was a big story is because it was a racial component. If it was a white officer shooting a white person, nobody cares. Like, there isn't this outrage or anything like that. But what you don't see is that when, you know, 42 black people get killed in Chicago over the weekend by other black people, the leaders don't say anything. Why is that? I mean, why don't the leaders go, hey, we need to stop this crime? They only care about it when there's a racial component. Do you understand that? I mean, that's what's really frustrating to me. To me, crime is a crime, and it doesn't matter what your race is. And I would think that if I was a black person, I'd be really frustrated with that aspect of it. But what's really strange is the murder. Not a murder, but a shooting of a. Sometimes it is a murder, you know, like in the one with in New York, Floyd. That guy was an absolute monster. But whenever a white officer shoots a black person, the entire community, minority community, gets in an uproar over it. And so you got to ask yourself, why is that? Why didn't you uproar after 32 people got killed in your city this last weekend? How come there's no uproar of that, like picketing and marching and, you know, everybody getting angry about that? Isn't that weird to you guys? It's something sick about that. And I think it's because the media starts ginning it up, you know. So, hope that doesn't offend anybody. I think that's an absolute reality, what I just told you there. That's a fact. You can just watch it on the news. They're not covering those other stories, and nobody's picketing, nobody's marching. There might be a story on the news, locally there, but nothing else. Oh, shoot. Darn it. I got closed down the window. I got to open up the window here. Hold on. Nancy Pelosi said today she doesn't understand where this attitude of lawlessness. Yes, you do, Nancy. See, Nancy's from San Francisco, and that's where it's all going on right now. Nancy, you started it. You're the one that started the whole damn thing, you idiot. God, it's idiots like you. It's unbelievable. And everybody knows this too, okay? Even Democrats and all Republicans know who started the lawlessness, okay? It was allowing their cities to be burnt down. I live in Portland right now, and they just let the city get destroyed by a bunch of wackos for a year and a half. And they just let it happen. There isn't some sort of other alternative universe where you can blame somebody else. And I think it was ginned up really by the media, to be honest with you. Alright, I gotta find where the hell was my... Oh yeah. I lost the console that shows what's going on the stream, so gotta go to that. Yeah, you guys, so again, right now we are on, what day is this? The 15th of the month. If you'd like to help out the channel, feel free to do so. I gotta do the, hold on, I gotta make this bigger right here. Where is it? Oh yeah, I gotta make the, I don't know why that got small like that. Look at that. It's super chats, channel memberships, and they do have ad revenue, and I take all of that at the end of the month and donate about 40 to 50% of the revenue, net revenue, to charities. And, you know, as you can see, we are kicking ass. I'm hoping to do another, we've done 500 already this month, and I want to do another like 3,000 at the end of the month to go to, it's going to go back to Identifinders again, and that'll almost completely cover, I think we'll have 7,000 something on the Addison County 1935 Doe project that we're working on. Let's see. Crazy, huh? Look how lazy those dogs are, man. I'm telling you. Yep. Hey, thanks, Mama4. Yep, 70,000 finally. It took a while from 65 to 70 because there was a months where I was going backwards for no reason. I think I don't know what they were doing. I think they're purging accounts that are out there or something. Thanks, Eugenie. Cassandra Morris. Yeah, looks cool. The nice round 70,000. 70,015 currently. That's good. I'd like to live where Grady Judd lives. That's where I want to live. He seems to know what he's doing. Thank you. Alright, so I'm going to switch stories now. Hey, look at that. Amber Maiden with the cat eye. Let me see if I can turn that on just in time. Come on, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't know. Darn it. I don't think I have it on this anymore. There it is. Is it going to catch it? It might. Thank you. Alright, here it goes. Maybe it might have caught that, I don't know. At the last second. Oh, even that one. No, that is her. Okay, there you go. The UFO. That's 1 penny short, you get the UFO. You don't get, for 50 you get the cat.
70,000, the sky is the limit. Thanks for being you.
Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alright, we are going to now go to these various stories that I've got here. This one is, let's see, which one? An order. Yeah, I'll just do them in the order I got. Alright, so in 1988, this is an article. It took me a long time to find the one article. It says, body found in canal. Police are trying to identify the body of a man found floating in a canal at 7 a.m. on Saturday. This is 1988, November 13th. So let's see. Saturday, about a quarter mile south of Miramar Parkway near 148th Avenue. So let's go to Google Earth here. And right here. This is in Miramar, Florida. I don't know if there's even another Miramar anywhere. So it says a quarter mile south, 3 to 5 days. So it's a quarter mile south of Miramar Parkway. So that means it's going to be a quarter mile down, not just right there. So let's go from here. So it's actually closer to that, doesn't it? Seems like they would have mentioned that though. That little. Although who knows in 88? Let's see if that wasn't even there. And that extra road right there. I bet you that wasn't there in 94. No, it was not. See, there you go. So that's why they said that. That's interesting. That road almost went over the top of a quarter mile south of right here. So it's right there. It's just a little bit. I'll just eyeball it. Right there in the. And at the time, that just looked like, that's all it was. A canal with no roads or anything. So you look at, if I turn off the road deal here. Let me make that bigger. Yeah, if I turn off roads, see there was nothing there at the time, and that article is 6 years before this map. So now that makes sense. Alright. So today, if you were to get onto the current day, there's a bridge right there. So basically right in the same spot, just right off of here, he was found floating almost exactly where that new sort of culvert bridge is, right there. And so we'll read it again. Police are trying to identify the body of a man found floating in a canal at 7 a.m. on Saturday, about a quarter mile south of Miramar Parkway near 148th Avenue. The victim, who police estimate was dead 3 to 5 days, is described as white, 29 to 30, 5'9", and weighing 154 pounds. The victim also has surgical scars above his navel, on his right knee and chest, Fibro said. Thanks, Lynette. Yeah, I guess so. That's yeah.
Took this from escrow, winking face.
A cause of death had not been determined by Saturday afternoon, a spokesman for the medical examiner's office said. Right, so he went unidentified until just recently. And right here, modern technology helps Miramar detectives identify body in cold case from 1988. Awesome.
Your story you'll see only on Local 10 tonight, a cold case mystery, one step closer to being solved.
Remains recovered more than 30 years ago have finally been identified, bringing closure to one family. Local 10's Roy Ramos is live with this exclusive. Roy.
Yeah, this family getting some relief this evening, and it is all thanks to an international missing persons database, a single fingerprint, and a persistent detective here at Miramar PD.
He just vanished from one day to another.
November 1988. That's when police said 30-year-old Jorge Costa Castillo took a trip from New York down to Miramar, Florida with his best friend to purchase horses. While his friend returned back to New York, Jorge never did.
They would make up stories within the 30 years. Oh, we saw him here. He was doing that. He was doing this.
Did Jorge have money with him?
Melissa Costa was just 11 months old when her father disappeared. Now in her 30s, she has spent nearly her entire life wondering where her father was or what happened to him, until an unexpected phone call from an FBI agent in the Dominican Republic, her father's birthplace.
How can you remember
that call then led to a detective at Miramar Police working her father's case who told her her father had been found.
I'm relieved. I think we all are.
Jorge's body was discovered in a canal just south of Miramar Parkway on Southwest 148th Avenue 33 years ago.
There was no identification on him at all. Because of the advancements in modern technology that we have, I decided to give it a shot and try to get him identified, and I was successful. And it had to do with a fingerprint.
Detective Jonathan Zeller said he made contact with George's best friend. Unfortunately, he is failing to cooperate.
I don't have enough evidence to show that he actually killed our victim here.
But what Detective Zeller has done is provide this family with the closure they have been searching for.
He has his own grave marker. We know where he is. We can go visit him.
See, that's what that does. That's what we're doing for people.
And unfortunately, the case is still pending because investigators still have yet to find Jorge's killer. For that reason, they're asking for your help. If you have any information that can help them,
the killer's
if you know
his
anything
best
about
friend.
What happened.
The killer obviously is the friend. There's no doubt about it. A body recovered more than 30 years ago has finally been identified, bringing closure to a family that has been searching for answers for decades. It's all thanks to an international missing persons database, a fingerprint, and a detective at the Miramar Police Department. Man, that's amazing. What are the odds of that? It was in November of 1988 when police said 30-year-old Jorge Costa Castillo took a trip from New York down to Miramar with his best friend to purchase horses. Well, guess who didn't have any money with them? The best friend. Guarantee it. I guarantee it the best friend had no money, and Jorge had enough money to buy a horse, and that money was stolen, and the other best friend went back to New York. How much you want to bet? His friend returned to New York, right? And Jorge never did. He just vanished from, let's see. He just vanished from one day to another, said Julissa Costa Castillo's daughter. They would make up stories. See, within the 30 years we saw him here, he was doing that. They were talking about the best friend. He was doing this. And it was all a lie. Costa was just 11 months old when her father disappeared. Now in his 30s, and he probably left him there making sure he had no identification or anything. God, I mean, you're driving about as far away as you could on the East Coast, New York, all the way down to Florida. It was all planned out, I guarantee it. Man, it's sick. Now in her 30s, she has spent nearly her entire life wondering where her father was or what happened to him. That is until an unexpected phone call from the FBI agent in the Dominican Republic, her father's birthplace. That call then led to a call from Miramar police detectives working her father's case, who told her that her father had been found. I'm relieved, Costa said. I think we all are. There was no identification on him at all. See, there you go. See, that's what I was saying. No wallet, no ID, said Miramar Police Detective Jonathan Zeller. Because of the advancements of modern technology that we have, I decided to give it a shot and tried to get him identified and was successful. It had to do with a fingerprint. Zeller said he made contact with Costa Castillo's best friend, who unfortunately is failing to cooperate. Yeah, yeah, see? That's pretty damning right there. Making up a whole bunch of stories and saying he saw him here and there. That's what he would say. That's what he would tell the daughter. Oh yeah, I saw him somewhere. He just doesn't want to. I mean, why would you be lying about that? I don't have enough evidence to show that he actually killed our victim here. But what Zeller has done is provide his family with the closure they've been searching for that doesn't exist, actually. But it's cool that she now has a place to go visit her dad, you know, or the grave anyways. That's awesome. I mean, that's an amazing identification. A fingerprint? Man. And it would have been really tough to do genetic genealogy on it, unless his daughter just happened to load her genes into a site like GEDmatch or something, or genetic information. Yeah, and I'm just letting you know, I don't read these articles beforehand because it would be so boring. I just read the headline and go, okay, here we go. So as we're going through them, I'm just like you guys, reading it. And that's what actually allows us. I mean, you guys got to admit, hasn't your intuition gone up dramatically after going over so many cases like we do? Because you start going, yep, heard that one before. Yeah, oh God, yep, this is probably the most likely, but there's also a possibility. Boom, right? No, it doesn't say that. They might have got his fingerprint at the very beginning and had it on file. Because he'd only been in the water he died only like 4 or 5 days prior. Okay, now we're moving on to another one. I think we've talked about this case on the show. I'm going to do a shortened version of it because it's kind of interesting. It's right up our alley with maps, right? So this is regarding David Neal Cox. He was executed. I think we covered him and went over this a while back, but I think this is it's in Mississippi. A Pontotoc man accused of killing his wife and holding his children hostage, I remember this one, had been released recently on a lowered bond on charges including sexual battery and child endangerment. See, they lowered his bond, then he got out. So David Neal Cox Sr. had been held in Pontotoc County Jail on a $200,000 bond which he could not meet. I'm adding that in. Since August. The bond, however, was reduced April 9th, and Cox was soon out on bail. So the judge who lowered the bond is responsible for the death of Mrs. Cox, Kim Cox. He's now accused of shooting his wife. This is 2010, by the way. Shooting his wife Friday and holding the children hostage into Saturday. Court papers show Kim Cox was afraid when she found he was getting out. She got a restraining order saying he threatened to kill her. And yet the stupid-ass judge lowered the bail. He got out and immediately went and killed her. All right, so now in 2012... So that judge should get something like, almost be put in prison, you know? It's so reckless to do something like that. A teenager accused of attempted sexual battery and a Pontotoc man accused of killing his wife and holding 2 children hostage escaped the county jail Sunday. So listen how crazy this is. Like he escaped jail waiting for a trial. County jail Sunday, but were caught in hours. David Neal Cox, 41, and the 17-year-old escaped about midnight Sunday. Cox had been jailed on a capital murder charge since May 2010 when his estranged wife Kim Cox was shot and killed. He had been held in the Pontotoc County Jail on $200,000 bond since August 2009, but his bond was reduced April 9th and he was free soon after. His wife Kim Cox got a restraining order against him saying he had threatened to kill her. He allegedly held the children hostage overnight after shooting his wife at her sister's house. In her Chancery Court petition, Kim Cox wrote that in early August, her husband had told a neighbor that he was going to kill me and showed him the gun he was going to do it with. Wow, it showed her the gun, right? No, that's right. A neighbor that he was going to kill me, and showed him the gun. Maybe that meant to say her. I don't know. See, Kim Cox wrote that in early August her husband had told a neighbor. Oh, no, so the neighbor actually said, I'm going to kill my wife. Here's the gun. God, what a psycho. Jeez. Yeah, alright. Have I done that one? Alright, now this is 11/14/2021. He just gave up. I mean, he got executed so quick, it's crazy. I mean, he got 8 years on death row and he's out of there. David Neal Cox will die by lethal injection Wednesday for the May 2010. This article is from 2021, November 14th. I think that's when we covered this, not too long ago. I don't know. It must have been prior to that. I don't know. The Cox is separated. I think we were talking about the sister-in-law who went missing. The Coxes separated in 2009 after Kim Cox's daughter, who was a minor, said David Cox sexually assaulted her, according to court documents. Kim Cox reported the incident to the police, leading to Cox's arrest. So that's why he was arrested. On May 14, 2010, David Cox purchased a handgun and 2 extra magazines, according to court documents. He went to the home of his sister-in-law, where Kim Cox and her 3 children, including 2 with David Cox, were staying. Court documents said David Cox shot into the home. His sister-in-law and one of his children escaped and called for help. David Cox took the other hostage for more than 8 hours. He shot Kim Cox in the stomach and sexually assaulted his stepdaughter in front of his dying wife. Oh, geez, that guy is just... That's absolutely incredible. What a freaking... that's like the worst monster that you could ever imagine right there. He shoots her and then sexually assaults the daughter in front of the dying Kim Cox. And she doesn't know what happened to her daughter. She probably died. Kim Cox pleaded for her life to police and her relatives who were... I think I've seen... It seemed like there was something on television about this one time. Hey, thanks, Sandra Turner. Appreciate it. Very kind of you. I'm gonna wait here, but guys, isn't this guy one of the sickest people you've ever heard right there? Jeez. No wonder he wanted to be executed. Yeah, he didn't want to... He wanted to be executed, not put in the general population. I mean, if that story got out, especially, him as a person, let me show you what he looks like. He's like, dweeb comes to mind. David Neal Cox. There he is right there, alright? Not a common word anymore, but look at this guy. What a pile of shit, this guy. There he is right there. Yeah. So he shot Kim Cox in the stomach and sexually assaulted his stepdaughter in front of his dying wife, according to court records. Kim Cox pleaded for her life to police and her relatives, who were brought in as hostage negotiators. I think I remember this story on IDTV. David Cox pleaded guilty in 2012 to 8 charges, including capital murder, sexual battery, and kidnapping, according to court records. A jury unanimously sentenced him to death for capital murder and 185 years for his other charges. David Cox appealed in 2015, arguing that the jury was impartial because of amplified local news coverage. Well, it was newsworthy. And his in-laws worked in law enforcement in the community, according to court records. He asked for a new sentencing hearing in a different location. That wouldn't have changed a damn thing. The Mississippi Supreme Court upheld Cox's sentence in June of 2015. In 2016, attorneys from the Mississippi Office of Capital Post-Conviction Counsel, which represented Cox at the time, filed for post-conviction relief, asking the court to reduce or reverse Cox's conviction based on new evidence, according to court records. In July 2018, David Cox sent a handwritten letter to the local district attorney asking for his appeals and lawyers to be dismissed and for the court to set a date for his execution. Well, that's the only good thing that you ever did, David Neal Cox, you pile of shit. But thank you for expediting it so that your genetic material isn't still on the planet. Hopefully they cremated him somewhere. If I had my perfect way and will about it, I'd never so gladly dig my dead sarcastic wife up, who I'm very happily and premeditatedly slaughtered. Wow, if I had my perfect way and will about it, I'd ever so gladly dig my dead sarcastic wife up, whom I'm very happily and premeditatedly slaughtered on May 21st, 2010, and with eager pleasure kill again and again, happily if chance was given, he said in the letter, which included various misspellings. Wow, Jesus. This guy is one of the worst of the worst. I mean, a week after that, Cox filed a motion on his own asking his appointed lawyer be dismissed because Cox is an Anabaptist and having a lawyer or state representative conflicts with his religion. Oh, now he's religious. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Because religious people type in sentences like you just wrote in the letter. That August, Cox wrote to Chief Justice of the Mississippi Supreme Court saying he was worthy of death and requested to fire his lawyer, waive his appeals, and set a date for his execution, according to court records. David Cox deemed mentally competent and waive appeals. In response to Cox's request to dismiss his lawyers and waive his appeals, the Mississippi Supreme Court asked the Union County Circuit Court in December 2018 to determine whether he was mentally competent. Anyways, they determined he was mentally competent, and he's been executed. I mean, he's been executed, and it just went, fast track. So then we come to this story right here today. And it says, I was about to do a joke, but I didn't want to. I was going to say, he's found innocent. I'm just kidding. He wasn't. Okay. That'd be crazy, right? But anyway, it says, map from executed murder leads to likely remains of sister-in-law. Look at how crazy that is. A hand-drawn map offered to authorities a day after the state of Mississippi executed killer David Neal Cox has led to the apparent remains of his missing sister-in-law. So he killed another one of his sister-in-laws before. Hey, Wolf Pack. Hey, idiot. That's what why did you just put that in the chat right there? That's what we're doing here. God, I hate people like that. Let me just get rid of him. Unbelievable. What a dipshit. Okay, here we go. David Neal Cox, convicted in the 2010 murder of his estranged wife, Kim Kirk Cox, had long been suspected in the 2000 disappearance of Felicia Cox, then 40. Before his scheduled execution, which took place November 17th, the woman's daughter, Amber Miskelly, wrote him a letter pleading for a location. I thought I had more time, Miskelly told NBC affiliate. And anyways, he drew a map. That's the map right there. And let me go to that. I don't know why people do that all the time. It's unreal. So anyways, this is the same map. I actually looked him up on Ben Verified. This is the house right here. And if we go back to that article, see, they have that house right there, and they drew that right there. I guess she was found. So that's the same map that they're using. Everything's exactly the same, the shadows and everything. See that? Except, here's the thing. When you look at that and you go, that doesn't look like that. There's a mobile home that goes like that, a shed and a shed. So, I don't know why the paper didn't think of this, but if you go back in time to 2010 and maybe even, 2000 and, I think it's 7. Maybe the next one works. Yeah, that one's a good one right there. So this is 2007 when she was killed. Look at how this one lines up. Now you've got the mobile home. You got the shed. It's not quite where he has it. And then another shed right there. And he says the body was buried. I mean, this is crazy because the woman went missing in 2007. Let me see what date that was. Yeah, had long been suspected in the 2007 disappearance of Felicia Cox. Man, what date? Let me type her name in there, because I think we were doing a show on her and then went through all the rest of the case. And you know, it's always some random schmo that does the. They come in and they do the spoilers. Like, you know, they're just waiting around, looking shit up, and, you know. Yeah. Doesn't fool me a bit. Maybe I'll turn off the chat during the stories, then right back on after. Hey, thanks, LM. Okay, let me type this in. Just before execution reveals, okay, that's December 7th. Daughter hopes death row inmate set for execution. So that's when they were hoping that he'd give the name right there. Let me see if she was on the Charlie Project. Yeah, right there. And see, this is what we were looking at, and we went through this. And then it led to the wife being killed, and then it was really obvious that this guy did it. He never admitted it. So she went missing on July 2nd, 2007. Felicia was last seen in the Piney Grove area of Pontotoc County, Mississippi on July 2nd. This is March 2007 right here. That's too bad we couldn't just get one extra. Well, that's September 2007. Oh, that's interesting. Because there's the shed again. There's the... Man, I wish that was clear, because her body's right there in this satellite image. How weird is that, everybody? In this satellite image right here, her body's been in the ground for 2 months right there. It's just not a very clear satellite image. 2010, and then now it's been cleared out. How weird though, right? Because it was cleared out, and that means her body is... Let's try to figure out where that would have been. So let me put a pin based on that map. Let me go back to the map here. So apparently she was found behind the shed. Okay, so if we go behind the shed, that means she was found about right here. Like right in that area, right? And then in a couple years later, they removed everything. So in this picture right here, that shed's been moved, and she's somewhere like right in that area. How weird is that, huh? So right, and she's even in the ground in this image. So they actually went in and then built a whole new home there. And imagine being the people that bought the new house, and then they come over and say, yeah, well, this whole time you've been living here, she's been in the ground right there. Now that's a weird one, because that's 2014, and now everything just looks normal, except that, that's a little discoloration right there. But that's 7 years later. So maybe right there, right? And that's a new mobile home that's been brought in. That's definitely not the same one. Yeah, it's not the same at all. And then 2018, see there's a whole house put there. God, is there a street view here? Oh man, here we go. This is crazy. This is when there was nothing. Oh man, this is the... when is this? Yeah, this is the 2014, the same time as the other shot from 2014. This one that had... That's what we're looking at. This is May 2014. And for once, we actually have a street view that almost lines up perfectly. This is February, so just 3 months later was the satellite image. Hey, thanks, Amy, CHS. Good to see you back. So, oddly, that body is right in there, yeah, on this street view. Let me try the Google Maps area. Look at Google Maps. Look at Google Maps.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Heart, heart, heart.
Hot. Alright, here we go. We're going to try something else. Wouldn't that be crazy? Because their Google Street View does have old 2007... Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, so it's like that. Oh, they don't have any historical information. That's not even the right spot. What the hell did you guys put me there? Looks similar though. No, it's on Kane. That looks almost right though. Look at that. Big Hill. That's right there. Oh, so that's not... Okay, yeah, that's right. It's... I'll have to go up a little bit higher. The street view... The address it gives you right there, but I think this person owns this big chunk right there. So if you go right there... And now you can... I think that's it right there, yeah. And they don't have any other street view. Ah, darn it. Man, wouldn't that have been amazing to have 2007? But didn't have it. Absolutely nuts. Wow. So that means that the body is just like right in the driveway right here. Basically. Anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting that he left a note and led to that. And it's always weird knowing that, you know, that on various satellite imagery, there's a body sitting right there, you know. I guess it's, you know, an unknown body. I guess if you flew over a cemetery, there's pretty much, yeah, quite a few in there, you know what I'm saying? All right, so we got that one. And we're going to move on to the next story now. This one's interesting too. So this is just about a band, you know, called the OJs, not O.J. Simpson. And I was just looking at it, you know, I was going over this article and trying to go back in time. But they were this blues band, I guess. And they were really famous for in the 60s and 70s, and they had, I mean, they were, I guess, really famous. On the walls of James Ricky Hicks' Camden, New Jersey home hang 5 platinum and 10 gold records awards that signify multi-million selling albums. Hicks is the star performer on the discs. And then down below here he talks about how he was in the OJs right there. And then I was looking at other articles from '82 about them. And then it was really difficult because one of the band members from 1960s was He was in the band, and they went to California, and then he decided he didn't want to stay there, and he went back, and he kind of just disappeared. And then he did disappear. And then in 1982, a body was found. And it was very hard to find this article because you have to type in precisely what might be in there. And finally I read something where the body was found in plastic bags, and I haven't read this one yet. I did see the map here and found the general location, which is in Ohio area. So it says 2 workmen dumping asphalt behind a small factory in Twinsburg Thursday found portions of a human skeleton that may have been unearthed from a shallow grave by animals. Police said other bones, this is in 1982 right here, February. Police said, man, it's actually February 19th, and so this is probably just right around that time. Police said other bones were found wrapped up in a plastic garbage bag and dumped in the same wooded area. The remains were weather-beaten and cracked. Police said they did not find any clothing or identification. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process to find out whose body was there, said Twinsburg Police Chief Don Prang. No cause of death has been determined, and officials said it is a mystery as to who dumped the body. Well, the fact that he's in body parts or in bags, he was murdered. Well, how do you know that he wasn't, somebody that just panicked? I wish I could just cue up Dan Carr's Rockabye Baby song every time we get one of these. No cause of death has been determined, and officials said it is a mystery as to who dumped the body. Prang said Twinsburg was used in the past as a dumping ground for victims of gangland slayings in Cleveland. That could be a possibility in this case. Authorities said some of the skeleton's teeth had fillings in them, ruling out the possibility that the bones belonged to an Indian or other primitive resident. Using shovels in their hands, detectives collected the bones from a snow-covered woods behind a Laurent Corporation factory, which makes asphalt waterproofing. The site is about a quarter-mile off Canyon Road. Let's see. Quarter-mile off Canyon Road. Okay, so it's not where I have it here. The map has it right at the Canyon Road and a railroad track, just a little bit off. But they're saying off of, this is Canyon Road, so it would be one of these directions. And there's a little road right there, though. I wonder if it's, wow, wouldn't that be crazy? Let me see what's going on back in time. But let's read it and get all the information out. The site is about a quarter-mile off Canyon Road on a dead-end driveway adjacent to some railroad tracks. Well, there you go. Now we look at that, and I don't see that, but I think this might be it. A long driveway adjacent to the railroad tracks, and I would bet money on that. And so the killer took him and drove up that crazy little road right there. So to verify that, I guess we could go back to maybe in the 90s here. 94, and is that road even there? I don't see that there. They're saying a dead-end road. I mean, it's showing the road, but there's one right there. Maybe that one is still right there. I see something that goes kind of in there, and then there's that factory maybe. Let's see if there's one that's 2000. Yeah, so I think that's still the same place. It's not a road, it's just a driveway. And it's dead end, obviously. And there it is in 2003. So that's probably the factory. Okay, so let's see. what it says. Authorities said some of the skeleton teeth and fillings ruling out. Using shovels in their hands, detectives collected the bones from a snow-covered woods behind the Laurent Corporation factory, which makes asphalt waterproofing. The site is about a quarter-mile off Canyon Road on a dead-end driveway adjacent to some railroad tracks. Okay, so now I'm going to measure from here and see if it makes sense as well. Yeah, see, that's we're at 0.15, so where would the quarter mile be? I don't know, man. What would the other driveway be? There's no other driveways anywhere. 94. Let me turn off. Well, I guess that's... And adjacent to the railroad tracks. And that's what makes sense. And maybe, let's see how far away that building is up here. Maybe that's the factory. Okay, that's a quarter mile right there. So that's the building. That must be not there anymore, right? Yeah, it's gone. So that's the factory. 2000, maybe it's still there. Doesn't look like it though. Looks like they've removed most of that. So I'm gonna put this like back here-ish, somewhere back here. Ed Seaman 23 and Charlie Nezovich 35 said they found a skull sticking out from a melting snowbank. Wow. The skull was sitting right up, Seaman said. I thought it was from an animal at first, but then we realized it was a human and called the police. Nezovich said he found a green plastic sack containing other bones near the skull. Then I knew someone had dumped it. By the way things looked, it probably had been out there for a while. Police and investigators from the Summit County Coroner's Office worked until about 5 p.m. Thursday, sifting through the brush and undergrowth for bones and other artifacts. By nightfall, they had collected several plastic bags worth of clues. The bones were washed off at the Twinsburg police station and laid out on a sheet. Prang said forensic pathologists from the coroner's office would try to reassemble the skeleton. All we can do is wait for the coroner's reconstruction, he said. Officials said it was possible the skeleton belonged to a black male in his 40s. However, that description was considered extremely tentative. Based on an examination of the skull, one pathologist virtually eliminated any chance that the remains were those of a child. When the bones were uncovered, police speculated they belonged to Tiffany Papish, an 8-year-old Maple Heights girl who disappeared from the suburban Cleveland home in June of 1980. Shortly after she vanished, FBI agents had searched a wooded area near the spot where the bones were found Thursday, but Prane said the coroner's office had all but ruled out any connection to the child. Alright, so that was the only thing that they had in the paper back then. That's the one article that they had. And then it leads to today, when remains found in 1982 identified as guitarist for R&B group The O'Jays. And he'd already left the band, so it wasn't like he left like he was Ringo Starr or something, and because that would have been all over the papers, right? So he didn't even make the paper that he was missing.
Of not knowing what happened to him. Now they actually might have some answers.
This mystery baffled police for decades. Human remains of a man found in a garbage bag. Now a break in that case is giving closure.
Confirmed that Frankie was a member of the band.
I'm very happy that we can at least put a name to his remains now and that we can get him back with his family.
That man was part of the legendary R&B band the OJs. News 5's Bob Jones first broke this story and shows us where the investigation heads now. But first, a warning. Some of this video may be disturbing.
It was a death with no dignity, human remains without a name, a murder that stunned the Twinsburg community. In 1982, workers at a business on Cannon Road made the terrible discovery.
They were in the back of their parking lot and saw a skull just sitting in the snow.
Inside a near garbage bag, there were other bones, which investigators put on display 39 years ago.
He might have been missing in the 60s.
The remains were not complete.
Like he might have been missing in 60s.
So that's sort of what we were left with from 1982.
Detective Eric Hendershot says it was just the beginning of multiple efforts to ID the man over the decades, including a sketch, a clay composite, and a News 5 feature on the cold case.
Look at that.
Including a sketch.
Look how lame that is. It's not even close. Yeah.
A clay composite, and a News 5 feature on the cold case.
I don't think anyone deserves to lose their name forever.
Meantime, a Cleveland family continued to wonder what happened to their loved one, Frankie Little, who was in the Army and served in Vietnam, but seemingly vanished sometime in the 70s.
We didn't know what happened to him. We always wondered what happened, so we didn't know what happened to Frankie at all.
But DNA from a tooth and a femur would finally break the case wide open. The DNA Doe Project got involved, uploaded DNA to genealogical websites, and in October revealed the names of potential relatives. A DNA sample from Frankie's brother in Georgia revealed odds indicating it was 389 million times more likely the two men were brothers.
I can look at those numbers.
Summit County Medical Examiner Dr. Lisa Kohler confirmed the oldest set of remains in the office were Frankie's. The cause of death hasn't been determined, but the case is ruled a homicide.
It was clear that there was a match here, that we had finally been able to put a name to these remains.
Yeah, all the links are in the description if you want to check
Little,
these out.
Nearly 40 years after his remains were found in this area wasn't the only surprise. The detective would later learn Frankie had a connection to a famous R&B band, now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In the 60s, Frankie wrote songs and played guitar for the OJs, who started off in Canton.
He
How cool is
played
that?
guitar with the band in the studio and on tour.
So I don't know too much about the OJs at all. I went to see Frankie when he played in Cleveland with them. They were just like 16 or 17. They was young at the time.
The fact that he was a musician and seems like he had some degree of prominence at one point in time. I think that's just, it's neat to have that background.
But more importantly, Elias Chan from the DNA Doe Project says the identification brings answers, almost 40 years later, to Frankie's family.
The goal is just to kind of hang in there and commit to it, keep checking those matches, keep going down those lines.
I can safely say I've never seen that hair color
now
before.
Now we have closure now.
But the case isn't over. Investigators are trying to
Has anybody seen that hair color before? I'm going to say no, I haven't. Which it's exactly the same color as your smiley emojis.
Checking those matches.
I guess she works for the DNA
going
Doe
down
Project.
those lines, keep thinking innovatively.
Now we have closure now.
But the case isn't over. Investigators are trying to track down Frankie's son, who hasn't been identified. And the biggest question, who killed the one-time band member of the OJs?
If she's doing genealogy,
trying to
she
find out how
must
he
be
got
smart.
there and who could have put him there. That's, we don't know.
In Twinsburg, Bob Jones, News 5.
That's pretty wild, huh? And down here they even have some kind of a facial bones were shattered, indicating possible trauma. The bones body were cut up prior to being placed in bags. Oh my. I think this is right up Dan Carr's alley. Where are you, Dan Carr? We need you to play your song again. The subject at the age 3 to 4 had an illness with a very high temperature. Wow. Maybe something in the ears, maybe? I don't know. The vertebrae showed adolescent kyphosis. What the hell is that? Let me look at that. the structural. It's like scoliosis, I guess. The normal spine when viewed from behind. Yeah, I guess it's like this. Like that's normal, apparently, and that's what it looks more like that. More curvy, I guess. Thank you, Plato. Good luck.
Power and cell issues here due to wind. Missing face.
Never even heard of it. Often, a scoliosis screening at schools is when a provider first notices a child's kyphosis. Other times, maybe it's different then. Spinal condition. In people with kyphosis, the spine curves outward more than it should. As a result, the upper back looks overly rounded. The curvature can make people look hunched or slouching. People sometimes call it hunchback or roundback. The spine is natural curves. These curves support our posture and help us stand straight, but excessive curvature can affect posture and make standing difficult. Okay, well there you go. So you had that. There may have been repeated blows to the head prior to death. Dr. Angel written report will be forwarded to approximately in 2 weeks. With the cooperation of the Twinsburg Police Department and the other city departments, the discovery of the bones was made possible. Anyone having information regarding this, man, that was way back then. So, I mean, these are all the various images over the years. And that's him. Really old photograph. He was in that band, and he left the band, actually. So, let's see what it says. Little was born in 1943 and raised here. In the mid-1960s, he was a guitarist and songwriter for the OJs. He also served in the U.S. Army for 2 years, including a deployment to Vietnam during the Vietnam War. Frankie, let's see, where did that go? Frankie was a member of the band in the 1960s. He played guitar with the band in the studio and on tours. Eddie Levert, the lead singer of the OJs, said Little was sentimental, loving, and passionate. Levert said Little moved with the band to California in the 60s, but he did not stay on the West Coast. He would have been a great entity in the music business, but he was in love, and love drove him back to Cleveland. Isn't that sad, in a way? It's like, you know, his life would have been totally different. But he followed his heart and went somewhere else and changed the trajectory of his life. And, you know, it's not his fault or anything, but, you know, it ended up, well, I don't know if it's his fault, how he died or whatever, anything like that. But, you know, his life would have been totally different. Levert lost track of Little over the years and was stunned to learn of the murder of his former bandmate. I never would have thought this would have happened to him. I don't know why anyone would do him like that. Little had a daughter who passed away in 2021, so he even had a daughter that passed away in 2021, and a son who has not yet been located or identified, police said. Little was last known to reside in Cleveland, and is believed he was last alive in the mid-1970s. Not much is known about his disappearance or death. The identity of the remains was a mystery for almost 40 years until in October 2021, the DNA Dope Project provided names, and that's one of the organizations that Colleen Fitzpatrick started, but she left there, and now she does Identifinders International, and you know, that's who we support now. I mean, we used to donate money when she was over there, but I think feels much more rewarding to more of a direct impact straight to a case through her. A brother in Georgia provided DNA sample which was analyzed by the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, and they made a match. Kohler said data provided to her through DNA testing revealed odds indicating 398 million times more likely, and there's not even that many people in the United States. Kohler said the remains are the oldest that are stored at the Summit County Medical Examiner. That's kind of interesting because one of the cases we did fund through the DNA Doe project was the Summit County John Doe, but that was in Colorado. Look how horrible this sketch is. It doesn't look anything like him. Not even close. Alright, anyways. Hope that's interesting to you guys. Here's the skeleton found in garbage bags 40 years ago is identified. I mean, that one's not even very good. I mean, at least it has... I don't know. It's really, the face doesn't look any... You know, you can't guess at some of this stuff. Little was not a founding member of the OJs that began in Canton, Ohio, but wrote some of their songs. I don't know if he's... I don't think he's in that picture there. Nope, hold on. Is this the same thing we just saw? He fought in Vietnam, so I don't know how old he would have been. I bet he was in his 20s. Well, it said what year he was born. So he was born, yeah, so he was born in 43, so he had been a teenager in 60, 61, 62.
Around 4 decades ago were just identified as Little's. Police say Little's remains were found in this area off of Cannon Road in Twinsburg in February of 1982. Police say the victim's remains were recovered in a garbage bag behind a now closed business.
Yeah, it was just a total mystery.
For years, detectives and state officials worked to identify the remains.
Thank you for covering these cases no
Eric
one speaks of.
said the mystery just solved with the help of the DNA Doe project
viewership
and the Summit County Medical Examiner's Office.
Genealogy is really what
I wish it mattered.
Gave us his name, and then from there, the brother did provide a DNA sample that went to BCI, and the BCI and crime lab then analyzed it, determined it was a full brother, and then that's when Dr. Kohler made the identification, positive identification.
Obviously, my condolences to Frank's family and communities that are affected by his loss.
Genealogist.
Ultimately, that's who we're serving, and that's who we're here for. We want to make that connection for that family.
The medical examiner's office has ruled the manner of Little's death as a homicide, saying the remains showed evidence of a stabbing and blunt force trauma. Detectives now hoping to find the person responsible for Little's death.
Hopefully somebody from the family might know who that was.
The detective tells us that Little lived on the east side of Cleveland in the late 1970s. They are hoping anyone who remembers him will give them a call.
It's really up to the public now to provide us with some information, some leads about what might have happened.
Yeah, look at all the bones that they found, all laid out like that. Crazy. That was from 1982 at the time. Man, I wonder if there's any way to track down the killer. I don't know if he's in that one. Says the OJs, including Little, were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2005. Some of the band members are pictured around 1965 right there. Recording session. I want to go listen to some of their music now. Alright, well, another success story, everyone. Awesome. I've only got one more story to go over tonight. I got up so early this morning, I only got 6 hours of sleep because I did that second show. Last night was crazy because I did a 2 hour and 45-minute show. Then I was on a guest on a show for about, I don't know, it was only like 30 minutes or so. And then I realized there was all these people that were upset that I removed the video because I accidentally, I had blurred out the names and covered up the names of people, but I saved it in the wrong place, and then I opened up the one that wasn't, it only was partially done. So then I actually put the show on private, tried to edit something, but it was just taking forever, and I go, you know what, screw this. So I went live again for about an hour and a half or something, but I went over the same stuff that we did, and you know, worked pretty, you know, so, you know, we did another show, went back over it again, and it was fun and everything. You know, it's weird too, because at the end I was just talking about, you know, getting vaccinated and everything, and it's so weird how there's these people that take it as some sort of they get offended if you tell them not to try to convince other people not to take it. I don't know why. You know, I'm just saying, scientifically, it works. Okay, you don't have to take the vaccine. I wish people would, because I don't want something to happen to them. Okay, but it also will help us get rid of or really minimize it. But it's amazing, after like an hour and a half, and then you talk about that for 15 minutes, the comments, there's like 20 comments are related to the vaccine. And it's always negative. Well, how do you know that this and that? You know, it's not a conspiracy. What is I don't like is the overreach by the current administration that's trying to control everybody all the time. I think if you were a little bit more, just explain it to people better, give other options, people would be a lot more appreciative and accepting of it. All right, I think that I wish everybody would get vaccinated, or if you've already caught it, you should be treated exactly the same as somebody who's been vaccinated. But another thing too is then once the immunity wears off on you, what happens then? Do you just go out and try to catch it again, or I don't know. It's weird, but you should be treated, if you've already caught it, your immunity's just as good, and some people even say it's better than people that have been vaccinated. So you should be treated the same, have a card that says you have an immunity for a certain amount of time, something like that. And you know, if you're not, you should wear a mask, and you should be tested before, like, you shouldn't be allowed to go to a basketball game indoors if you haven't been tested and you haven't been vaccinated, because it's not really cool, right? I mean, to go inside there and you've got COVID and you're going to spread it around in an indoor environment to people. And I don't know why that's hard to understand or fathom by somebody, you know. But if you get tested, like, why not do these rapid tests? You take a test for 10 minutes. You can order them. They're pretty accurate. And then you can go into the building. Be great. And then it's up, you know, you're at your own risk when you go in there, right? Like, but at least when you were entered in, you were allowed in because of that, right? Anyways, that's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to be some crazy person about it. I don't know why it became a political thing. You know, you got to admit though, Dr. Fauci has changed his mind so way too many times, right? Remember at the beginning he said, "Oh, masks don't help at all. They don't help at all. They don't help at all. They don't help at all." Well, it turns out masks help a lot, and from spreading the transmission of it. And then he, you know, it just is a never-ending saga. So I think that's why it sort of became a little bit political. And, you know, because Trump was president and he's the one that got the warp speed going to create the vaccines. But, you know, the next administration had to sort of downplay the importance of that to make it sound like they're the ones that are really going to get the vaccines out to everybody really quick, and you know, they haven't really done that great a job doing that either. So the whole thing is political, and it's a shitty thing to be political. It should just purely be science-based and explained to people in a way by actual doctors that know what the hell they're talking about. Right? There you go, everybody. That's my thought. I'm sorry if that offends you. I see that we were up to 70,033. We were at 34 right before I started talking about that. So somebody goes, "How dare you? You got vaccinated great." You know what's really weird? Here's a weird thing is, you know, the left is normally the cancel culture side. Yeah, they're the ones that normally do the cancel culture. But what's really strange is in the COVID world, the conservatives are the ones that sort of cancel culture the people who are pro getting vaccinated. They're the ones that get really upset and they don't want to talk to you anymore. Very strange, don't you think? Isn't that a weird thing? It's like that's their thing, where you are a absolute monster if you think that people should get vaccinated. Yeah, just do it. Do what you want to do, everybody. I recommend, I'm not a doctor, but I'm saying I'm going with everybody. You know, I have 2 doctors in the family, and I know that it works, okay? So the thing is you don't have to do it, but just do not try to convince another soul not to do it. Because if they catch it and die, you are responsible, just like the judge who lowered the bail on that one psycho earlier. And he got out and killed his wife. He's responsible for that. So you going out there and selling it to, hey, telling your dad, hey, yo, don't do it, man, this is crazy. And he doesn't do it, and he dies, that's your fault. And isn't that obvious? You know what I love is the people that say, I trust my immune system. My immune system's amazing. How the hell do you know, dude? You don't have a clue. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Well, Gray, I make sure my vitamin D levels are... Okay, well, there's a lot of people that did that, and they're absolutely healthy people, and they died from COVID. Now, I'm really looking forward to the pill that Pfizer's coming up with that apparently is like 90% effective in keeping you from being hospitalized. If you get it right, as you're detected getting it, you start taking these pills, and boom. That would be an absolute game changer. Don't you think? Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything, Anthony. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. You can still get it. Or, you know, some people are also lucky people that their immune system just randomly happened to be one that they were exposed to and they didn't catch it. It doesn't mean that you're something special, that you made sure that you were healthier than other people. It was just pure luck. There's nothing, you know, there's nothing that you're doing that made it that way. Yeah. Great, but you have to get it early. Yeah, you have to get it early, and I think monoclonal antibodies should be available to everybody. And basically what that's like is it's getting... here's what I think, though. I think that if you're somebody that's vaccinated and you catch COVID, you should be offered the monoclonal antibody first, though. Because you did everything to build your immune system and it still got through. And you should get it. All right? But they should make enough of the monoclonal antibodies to cover the entire nation. One of the things that I do, it's a weird concept, but there's people that are upset that insurance companies are saying, we're not going to cover you if you aren't vaccinated and you get COVID. And actually, it sounds crappy, but it actually makes sense because it costs like $1 million. When you go into the hospital and you're on those respirators and all that stuff, you are in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you could have prevented you from going there, but you didn't. Isn't that weird? So why should the medical insurance have to cover that? Yeah. And American Forever is brought to you by a dipshit. All right, see you later. Yeah, this idiot right here.
Hey, guys. Hey, this show was brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah, right. Hey, I think Moderna's pretty good too. Did they pay me money also, or they don't use respirators? The things that breathe for you. They also use what are those things called? The CPAP machines at some point. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Anthony Wilson. You sound like somebody that's just kind of a little out there. The oxygen that you put on that helps you breathe. They actually put you on. They ventilate you. Yeah, a ventilator, right. I mean, it's not the thing that you squeeze, but yeah, you don't want to be intubated. I mean, that's what I'm referring to. I mean, maybe it's technically incorrect, right? Yeah, you don't want to be you don't want to be on you don't want to be intubated and on a ventilator. Nah, it doesn't, Anthony. They've got it all figured out. I actually know people that it's saved. So yeah, these people, they're just. I mean, you got to get the right one. So they're not using ventilators anymore in the COVID. Let's see. Maybe that'd be good if they figured out a better way to do it. Let's see. Have they stopped using ventilators for severe COVID? All right, this one is analysis urges less reliance on it. Ventilators and COVID, what you need to know, special report. Oxygenation and ventilation. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that, it does go back and forth. There was people that were saying early on, but I think over time they figured out how it would work better because there's a certain point where you have to go on it, right? Like there's a point where your lungs aren't working correctly, you can't bring in the oxygen, so they have to force the oxygen into you. Now maybe they have different devices now because the CPAP machine was what Chasing's husband, he had to get on, and that's sort of this pressure thing that forces it down, and that was the last straw, and it worked. The last straw worked for him. He was going to go on the ventilator the next day, and it was really amazing that he recovered just that last moment in time. He just started coming back up again. Yeah, you don't want to be on in the ventilator stage or them considering it. That was only a few months back, and that was, a Delta variant version, so, who knows. I hope they quit using, if they can figure out a way to not use ventilators, where you can stay alert and alive and awake, then go for it, I'm not, who the hell wants to be ventilated? Yeah. But you always get the one clown that says, "Hey, well, I was in a room with 9 people and 7 of them got it and I didn't, so why should I have to?" Well, I don't know, dude. You got lucky. Who the hell knows what happened to you? But they make it sound like their example represents everybody else, and therefore everybody else is stupid. And if they had just eaten the same foods that they did, boy, we'd all have it solved. Yeah, that's what I said, yeah. I said that. All right, anyways, let me get on to the last story here. It's kind of a newer one. I don't even know if this opens now. Let me see. No. God, how dumb. Missing person, and you have to pay for a subscription. I think that's like, people should unsubscribe to the that newspaper for doing that. That's wild. But believe me, talking about the COVID and the vaccine is my least favorite thing to talk about. And I'm sure it's a lot of the vaccine, anti-vaxxer types' least favorite topic too. So this is a missing person. Oh wow, they're like wrestling over here. Look how mean Chloe is. Let's just do the. Poor Blue. Poor oh my God. Oh, he heard the car. Oh yeah. He heard my wife's car locking outside. Blue's like, thank you. Let me stretch now. Wow, that was a nightmare. Poor guy. Don't you feel sorry for that guy? Man. Yeah. She is very tricky when they get in a fight. Well, she's been fixed, LM, so she doesn't want any action. All right, hold on a second. Oh man, Chloe's going nuts right now. Oh. See, Blue, look how good Blue is being. How come he's so excited when she comes home? When I'm sitting here, he just doesn't give a damn. You guys see that right there? Oh man. Come on, Blue. He ran halfway, looked at me and said, nope, I'm going that way. Oh God, poor Blue, look at it. Every time Blue barks, she just goes over and attacks him. What's he doing right now? What the hell is he doing? Look at the. Oh God! What happened? What happened? She fell off the back of. That was crazy. Oh my God! She fell off the. We need an instant replay of that one. What happened there? That was. Oh man. Chloe. Chloe. Man, you guys didn't have to eat through an apple to see this or anything. Look at Blue, poor guy. Blue's eating something over there. That's crazy. Oh boy, that was pretty wild right there. Yeah, she just twirls all the time. She just does. You'll just say something, or twirl, twirl. You don't even have to say anything. That's just what she does. Oh wow, Great Dane doing what Chloe does? Man, that'd be bad. See, there's the twirl. There's the twirl. Twirl, 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 twirl. I mean, she's just. Yeah. Look at Blue. He's had enough, man. He's had enough. Yeah. I'm just gonna skip that first article there. Oh, you have a Great Dane? Jeez. I'm sure the Great Dane's head weighs more than Blue and Chloe combined. Yeah, I feel bad for Blue. Although he does like, you know, obviously he does like her, you know. But really it's kind of like probably a 55-year-old uncle and a 8-year-old, you know, nephew just bouncing around, or niece or whatever, just bouncing around, just trying to get you to play and do all this stuff, and the uncle's like, just let me watch the game, for God's sakes. Yeah. All right, you guys ready? I'm gonna go do this last one here. So, everybody is shaken up. Mother seeks answers in search for missing son Taylour Young.
Well, a local mother is asking for help in the search for her 25-year-old son.
Taylour Young has been missing for a week. He was last seen in West Houston. KPRC2's Brittany Jeffers joining us live with the desperate efforts to find this young man. Brittany, good morning.
Yes, good morning. So many questions remain
around
this case today. We know that young man's phone was found in the bushes here near this bank. I spoke with his mother this morning as well as HPD, and they say at this point there is...
Yeah, so they're at that Capital One there. Let me get to that one. I've got it right here. There's a Kroger's and a Capital One. This is the Capital One right here. So let's see what that lady's looking at. Probably these bushes right there then?
:basic blue :basic Chloe.
Okay, so she's standing. Oh, is there a Capital One on that, also on that side of that building? It's almost like she's... Wait, I don't see that building. I think I'm in the wrong side of it. I don't know, let's see. There's that big building in the background there. Okay, that's where she is, right here. See that? Those right there is right here, and then there's that big heart energy in the background. That's probably what that is right there.
There is still no sign of Taylour. It's been 1 week. Bushes here near this bank. I spoke with his mother this morning as well as HPD, and they say at this point there is still no sign of Taylour. It's been 1 week since Tiffany Robinson has heard from her son, Taylour Young.
And that is not like Tim at all.
The questions continue to grow.
It's a puzzle It's a nightmare.
She says her last interaction with her son was last Wednesday.
He sent me a text message about 11:30, a picture of his dog with the antlers on his head.
According to HPD, Taylor's girlfriend reported him missing at 10:30 on Thursday night. Officers say she saw him Thursday morning when she left for work, and he reportedly said he would be going to the bank at some point that day, but he never returned home from his lunch break. His mother says she used the Find My iPhone app to track down his cell phone.
It led me to this area.
She says she found the phone in bushes near the bank off of Voss Road. Houston police say at this point they don't believe that foul play is involved, but Tiffany says family and friends want answers.
So he just threw his phone in the bushes?
Taylor home being shared on social media.
Everybody
Although he was at the bank getting money, does that mean he was going somewhere and now he doesn't want to be tracked?
is concerned. Everyone is looking for him, and we just want him to come home safely. His birthday is December the 30th, so I want my child home before his birthday.
So Taylor is 25 years old, 5'11", and about 160 pounds. Last seen wearing a Billionaire Boy Club hoodie and gray sweatpants. We're told he was driving a 2019 silver Honda Civic. Now, HPD says that surveillance video does show that vehicle near the bank. At this point, they say that he is listed in a missing persons database, and officers are following up on any tips in the case. But they say if you have any information...
See, when the police say they saw the car near the bank, I mean, well, where the hell is it then? I mean, didn't you keep watching the surveillance to see what happened to the car? I mean, it's like you're just sort of, you're not giving us the rest of the information.
If you've seen Taylor, if you've seen that vehicle, contact them immediately. Live in West Houston, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC 2 News.
Brittany, thank
All right, let me go through this. Wait, does it start off with everybody shaking that?
A bold theft.
A Houston woman is searching for answers about her son, who she said has been missing for almost a week. Everybody is shaken up, said Tiffany Robinson. My mother is taking it very hard. Robinson said she last heard from her son on the 25th, her son, 25-year-old Taylor Young, last Wednesday, according to Houston Police Department. So he was reported missing on December 9th. So that's quite a bit of time there. He sent me a text message at 11:30. It was a picture of his dog with antlers. Robinson said her son graduated from Sam Houston State University and works in accounting. So it sounds like he's successful. Young didn't come back from his lunch break, and his phone was found in the bushes. How could they not think it's foul play? There must be some other information that makes them think that. Taylor has a routine, and the routine is to get up in the morning, walk my dog, work, come home on my lunch break, walk my dog again, either take a nap with my dog or play video games and go back to work, Robinson said. Oh. So he spends his whole life walking the dog? I mean, that's pretty weird. The mother said she has so many questions. Everybody is concerned, Robinson said. Everyone is looking for him, and we just want him to come home safely. Robinson said she spoke with the police on Tuesday morning. On Wednesday, Smith told KPRC2 that they reviewed surveillance video from the bank but found no signs of foul play. Police have now entered. See, they found no signs of foul play. But what about the video? I mean, didn't you catch something? Did you just see him walking away? That's a huge part of the story. Anyone with information about Young's whereabouts is urged to call the Houston Police Department. And his car's still missing too, right? Yeah, so Young's car is missing too. So he's gone, but he threw his phone. Well, that's interesting, because he could have left on his own, and he threw his phone there so he couldn't be tracked. And he maybe cleared out his bank account, and who knows? I mean, you know, the phone's in the bushes, so that means somebody intentionally put it there.
Taylour Young's mother used Find My iPhone to track her son here to Capital Bank on December 9th. His cell phone was behind me in some bushes near the ATM. The Kroger surveillance video to my right.
Okay, hold on. So now we're getting a little bit better information. Let me go back into the parking lot here. Bushes near the ATM. So that's the ATM machine. So yeah, probably, you know, these are the bushes near the ATM right here. So it could have been, let's just move it down a little bit, maybe. Somewhere in here.
It also showed his car was here that same day. But since then, there has been no sign of the 25-year-old man his mother describes as quiet, humble, and well-loved.
I love you. I'm coming for you.
It's been 5 days since Tiffany Robinson heard from her son, Taylour Young.
And I just feel like he is in danger because it's not like Taylour to not call me, my sister, anybody in our family.
After filing a missing persons report, she tracked him to this Capital One bank off South Voss Road. She knows his car was here around lunchtime last Thursday, but other than that, she doesn't have any answers.
I'm like, why is Taylour in that area? Because it's
So did he go to the ATM with his vehicle and sort of get out like this guy's doing?
far away from his work location. If
any answers.
I'm like, why is Taylour in that area? Because it's far away from his work location. If there's no reason why he should be over here.
She says investigators are going through the process of getting the bank to release its surveillance video, but it's taking time and a toll
Why would it
on
take
the family.
time?
His father is like taking it very hard. He had to go to the hospital. Like, it's that bad.
Robinson says it's also been hard for her to stay strong, but she feels like she has to in order to find her only son.
I don't have the option to be weak because my child doesn't know me to be weak, but I have my moments where I break down and cry.
Young is 5'11", 160 pounds, and has tattoos on his calves. His silver Honda Civic has a black trunk and a crack in the windshield on the passenger side. If you have any helpful information, call HPD's Missing Persons Unit.
I just appreciate everyone for helping me. Hashtag bring Taylour home.
In Houston, I'm Brianna Connor, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Okay. So you may have seen Bring Taylour Home on social media. That's because the 25-year-old's friends and family are trying to figure out where he is. Houston police say Taylour Young was last seen wearing a blue Billionaire Boys sweatshirt and gray sweatpants. He was driving a 2019 silver Honda Civic near Capital One Bank on South Voss Road. Young's mother said she used the Find My iPhone app on December 9th only to find his cell phone in some bushes near the ATM. Surveillance video from the Kroger nearby also showed his car at the bank. Since then, there's been no sign of the man, who his mother described as quiet, humble, and loved. "I love you, I'm coming for you," said Tiffany Robinson, who had not heard from her son in 5 days before she became worried. I know something happened, and I just feel like he is in danger. It's not like Young to not call me, my sister, or anybody in our family." After filing a missing persons report, she tracked him to the Capital One Bank off South Voss Road. She knew his car was there around lunchtime last Thursday. But other than that, she didn't have any other answers. Why is he in that area? Because it's far away from his work location. There is no reason why he would be over here, he said. Robinson said investigators are going through the process of getting the bank to release its surveillance video, but it's taking time and a toll on the family. His father is taking it very hard. He had to go to the hospital like it's that bad. My mom, he had to go to the hospital like it's that bad. Oh, so he had to go to the hospital. He was taking it so poorly. My mom, she has heart conditions, She's been trembling. It's very upsetting. Robinson said, it has also been hard for her to stay strong, but she felt like she had to in order to find her only son. I don't have the option to be weak because my son doesn't know me to be weak, Robinson said. I have my moments where I break down and cry. I have my moments when I don't want to get out of bed, but I can't. That's not how my child knows me. Young is 5 feet 11. He's 160 pounds, and he has tattoos on his right calf. He also has the Tasmanian Devil tattooed on the back and fleur-de-lis on the front. His silver Civic has a black trunk and a crack in the windshield on the passenger side. Anyone with information is urged to call HPD Missing Person Unit at 832-394-1840. I just appreciate everyone for helping me. Hashtag bring Taylour home, said Robinson. All right, I'm going to put that in my, where is that? What happened to that link? I already lost it. Now I got to go back over there. So that's all I've got on this one. It's not a ton of information, but that seems pretty suspicious. Don't you guys think? Man, we got through a lot of cases tonight. Even though it wasn't that long of a show. It wasn't really a deep dive in anything, but I'm going to put the hashtag in here. At the top. Oh, I got the wrong stuff in the title. There we go. Or in the description, I mean. There we go. There we go. All right. So if you're just watching for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And for God's sakes, hit that like button. All right? Even if you don't like it, just hit it for me. Thank you. But isn't it amazing? Like last night we had 1,300 people watching because I merely had the word Delphi in the title. And then the next day we have 1,000 less because we're not talking about that one. I don't know, I just find that disturbing somehow. They might have mentioned it. I don't. You'll have, just look it up out there somewhere. I think it was either said on the video or let me type that in on the internet. Let's see what happens. There's an Instagram on him. Hold on. Okay, here's the Instagram stuff. So, missing person was last seen wearing Blue Billionaire Club, Texas license plate number MDC9337. This is the one that was blocked out on the one website. You need to be a member to see a missing person. How ridiculous is that, man? Help find Taylour. He's been missing since December 9th. His phone was found in the bushes at the bank where he was at. Something happened in broad daylight, midday, during banking hours. I mean, that makes it sound like it's more likely he did just get into his car. I mean, it said noon. Somebody would have seen something, right? But nobody notices somebody just getting into their car. You get what I'm saying? If there was some nefarious event going on, somebody would have went, oh my God, look at that. The guy is being pushed into his car. But if you just throw your phone in the bushes and walk over to your car like a normal person so your car couldn't be tracked and then drive away. But one interesting thing is a 2019 Honda, it has to have some sort of tracking in there because those things are digital. So maybe they can figure something out on that angle. Tasmanian devil on the right front calf. Yep. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it for me tonight. You know, for all those out there that only like one case, I'm sorry I couldn't keep covering the same one over and over again. And thank you to... So these are all from today, right? Because there was an earlier show. So, well, not all. I already thanked everybody on the previous show. This one's from tonight. Tracy Nixon, Mag, cat eye donation. Tracy Nixon again. And then Marty McFly. Pretty crazy, right? Mama 4, Eugenie, Cassandra Morris, Amber Maiden, cat eye donation. Lynette Burns, Sandra Turner, LM, Amy CHS, Plato, LM, Jessica Schubach, and I thought there was another one in here. There was 3. Yeah, and then Sandra Turner, cat eye, LM, Amy, Plato, LM, and Jessica Schubach. So thank you guys very much. Let me check one last place over here in case somebody sent something on Google. No. All right. Oh wait, earlier though, Amy Higgs sent me a nice PayPal, so thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, well, I hope you guys liked the show. I mean, it was a lot of different topics, and I thought they were all pretty interesting. I was pretty excited to do it, even though it didn't last. But I mean, I'm really tired right now. I mean, I even watched the entire show this morning. I was trying to take a nap again, but I looked up at the clock, and it was 11 o'clock by the time I got the dang thing running, and I can't even sleep at that time. So we'll just make it a shorter show tonight. So thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. You know, maybe I'll have a little bit of Blue and Chloe time at the end, right after the wrap. Okay. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Thank you, mods. And thanks to all the freaks for being here. Boom. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector.
Hey, so I don't get a rap tonight?
I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get you, wanna stretch you. Hey, I said you don't get a rap me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grego's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector.
And I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Hey, what happened to the music, right? Stop.
Interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later. There you go. You can watch them for a little bit. Although they're not really that active right now. I don't know how that would be a comfortable way to sleep. Does anybody think that'd be a comfortable way to sleep right there? With your head cranked up in the air like that? Chloe! Chloe. She's not even looking at me. If she was looking at me, that's the direction she'd be looking right there. She doesn't care. Blue, Chloe, how's it going? Go get him, go get him, go get him. They're like, shut the hell up, Grant. Shut the. Oh, you're the girlfriend? Oh. Yeah, well, we've been looking. We can't really look for him because I don't live there. But we were just trying to put the word out on that last part of the show. What do you think, Alicia? Do you think he? Do you think that he? What are you talking about, Jessica? Oh yeah, they're not interested in me, right? Yeah, they're just. Do you think that he left intentionally? Because it's a little bit weird that in the middle of the day somebody didn't see something if it was nefarious. It's almost like he got into his car intentionally and perhaps he didn't want to be tracked, so he put his phone in the bushes. And on the surveillance camera that they have him on, Alicia, did they can they actually see the car and then he gets back in the car and drives away? Yeah? Do you think somebody was in the car and forced him to withdraw money? So you think he was abducted, huh? Interesting. I mean, you can call in if you want, Alicia. That number on the screen isn't good, but I could give you, well, I could put one in chat. Would you be interested in doing that so we could get more information? Okay. I think that's the one. Yeah, why don't you call this number right here? Call that one. You can let us know what's up. Pulling it, so it shows him pulling in. Okay, well, maybe you can call in and describe it, because I've got the bank right here. He was right there. I think his phone was in these bushes. I just put it in the chat, the phone number. It's right above. It's right here. Beholder, call the red phone. Yeah. I just put it in there again. Should work. I don't know if she's, are you calling it? Is it working? Should work. If that doesn't work, you could call, wait, hold on. Which one did I do? You could try this one. Oh, you're calling now, okay. See if it works. Heck, I was just ending the show, but definitely Hello, is this Alicia?
Yes. Hello.
Hey, wow. So you're actually his girlfriend.
You sound muffled right now.
Oh, I do?
I'm trying to hear you.
Oh, let's see.
What can I do?
Let me fix something. Let me make sure that I've got the right setting on this. I hardly ever use this particular call-in, but
I mean, I can hear you, but it's like really...
Right. I have a feeling I know what's going on, so hold on a second. Oh, God, no wonder. Jeez. How about right now? Is that better?
Oh, that is so much better. Yeah.
Yeah. It was using this mic that was like a mile away on a wall. Just like I called this show the other day, and they were like, when I heard it later, I was so ashamed. But yeah, that should be a lot better. Okay.
It is.
All right.
I can hear you now.
So
Thank
are you you're the girlfriend, his girlfriend?
I am the mother of the girlfriend.
No, the mother of the girl.
So,
okay.
Yes. My daughter has been dating him over a year.
Okay. And what do you know about
they went to high school together.
Okay. Yep.
They went to Klein High School together. He was a couple of years senior to her. They were both in the band. They knew a lot of the same people. He's an accountant that works for Valoric Oil and Gas.
Mm-hmm. And where was that located?
It's located downtown Houston off of San Felipe and Voss Road, somewhere down there. Valoric Oil and Gas.
How do you spell that?
VELLOREC.
Oh, EC.
Valoric.
Oil and gas. Okay.
And it's the main headquarters is in France.
Okay. All right. I see a couple different. And so it was really odd for him to be at this place?
No, it wasn't, because it was right near his home. But what's weird is there's a Capital One bank that is closer to his home than where he was last videotaped.
So is it the one that's on Sam Houston Parkway? That Valoric?
Yes.
Okay, and it's kind of like a rectangular, like 9 or 10 story tall building?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to put that on there. So you're saying that there's another bank right here as well. I map everything out because it helps a lot. So I've got to put that in there.
Mapping is awesome. And we have come up with a timeline.
Okay.
Okay. We have come up with, there's a 5-minute interval where my daughter, he's texting my daughter, and where the bank, where Kroger's across the street from the bank has videotape of him pulling into the bank parking lot.
And that must be really from a distance, because it's not like it's right there. I mean, it's about hundreds of yards. Like, let me measure it really quick.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's probably 4 lanes across that highway. Right? I mean, it's not a highway, but it's a street. It's a main street in Houston. Like, I mean, we have streets that are like highways here.
Yeah, it's like 160 yards away, but so they can see his car pulling in off of which road, you know?
Off of Voss.
So off of Voss, he pulls in. Okay, that makes sense. So you see him pulling in right here, and then he goes in between whatever that other, the fuel center and the Capital One, right?
And the problem with the Kroger video is they cannot see from their point of view with their cameras at the ATM machine. So my daughter literally found his phone on the side of the ATM machine at about 6:30 p.m.
I thought that
on
was
Thursday night.
Okay. So
she's the one that found it.
Let me ask you something really quick. So is it the lady that was on some of these interviews that we see on TV, who is that now? I'm kind of confused.
That's his mother.
Because I thought she said she found the phone, like it led right to the phone.
No, she did not find the phone.
Oh.
My daughter actually pinged his phone because she could not contact him, and he wouldn't respond. And so they went to where the phone pinged, which was at the Capital One Bank on Voss Road, and they found his phone in the bushes, like on the side of the ATM.
Okay, are you talking about they're not really, like, there's a really thick bush row that's sort of like behind the ATM? It's not that, right? It's the one on the side of the building with the windows? Is that right?
I think it is, because it wasn't directly in front of the ATM. It was like a car length behind the ATM. The ATM machine was actually on the wall. So on the wall of the building.
Yeah, I see it. I can see it on the screen.
And there's a teller window, like right there. And so if anyone was sitting in the teller window, they could have seen everything.
Yeah, so there's a teller window, and then the phone, was it around to the right, around the corner?
Yes. It was before the teller window, like in the bushes right there on the side.
Okay, there's like a little bit of gravel, and they're not like, when you say bushes, it's not these really high overgrown bushes. There's just some weed, almost like weeds.
It was actually placed there. It wasn't thrown because the phone was perfectly intact.
So that's a little bit weird then, right? I mean, you could still toss it and it wouldn't break, like you can just kind of fling it into, depending how it hit, it might not break, right?
You could fling it, but it was literally like placed there. Like somebody just didn't throw it, but placed it there.
Well, that would be good news to me, because placing it there is odd for a kidnapper or an abductor to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what we're thinking is, before we even know, like, we haven't seen the videotape. We don't even know if the cops have the videotape. But it's been, like, tomorrow will be a week. So we're thinking that since it was placed there, like, he was trapped. Like, he could not move his car. Like, somebody was in front of him and somebody was behind him. So he could not maneuver to get out of that situation. And somebody came up and pulled a gun and got in his car, or made him get it, unlock the doors and get in his car, and the person that was holding the gun at his side placed the gun there.
No, you mean
placed
the
phone there.
But why would he place the phone?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's a thing.
If you would throw a phone, it would crack, right?
Yeah, but why would the abductor care if he cracked his phone?
No, I don't think he cared. I think it was just...
Well, that's what I mean. He wouldn't take the time to bend down and place the phone gingerly on the ground, an abductor, right?
Exactly.
So that's why... So I don't think... Well, okay, but that's what I'm saying, is why would an abductor gingerly place the phone on the ground? You see? So to me, that means it's not an abduction, because why would he do that? It seems to me like an abductor would just get the guy in the car and throw his phone out so he can't be tracked. But it seems like this...
I'm here to tell you that this kid would not just leave. I know what you're leading to. Like, this kid lived with me for 8 months. I know his routine. Like, I know what this kid does. And he gets up at 6:30, goes to work. Literally.
Yeah.
Like, does nothing else.
Well, I mean, here's the thing is,
accountant.
I'll take your word. See, the thing is the fact that you're so certain and talk like that, that's what we've got to go more on, because a lot of times you get people that just go, yeah, likely you just did this, but you know him, and you feel like there's something really off with this situation, right?
Oh, yes, sir. And I thank you for taking my call. Thank you so much. And I know you have such a good heart, and you're out there to help people. And this is such a tragedy in our family. Like, we cannot believe that someone can just disappear like that at a bank. Like, we need to know answers.
Yeah, don't they have cameras all around the bank? I mean, that should just...
Yes, everywhere. That's in the main area where there's cameras everywhere.
Now, let me ask you this. If it did turn out where he just shocks everybody, and on camera you see him place... Because here's the one way you might look at somebody placing the phone gingerly. That would be somebody who wanted it to keep working and to keep pinging, and eventually, then he's not there anymore. But that would be the scenario.
I can't imagine him doing that.
I know, that's the thing.
I can't imagine.
That's what I'm saying. I got to rely on what you're saying because you know him.
Like he literally okay. This is the deal. He and my daughter have been dating for about a year and a half. He waited. He's so strategic and such a mathematician and does everything right that he waited a year before he asked my daughter to move in with him. And they were elated. The night before he went missing, they went out to Target and bought a Christmas tree and decorated it and sent me pictures of their apartment and how they bought a new rug and how they have decorated.
Yeah. So it doesn't sound like somebody that's planning on leaving or anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. He was so happy. He's in love with my daughter, and my daughter is in love with him. And I've seen this. He spent Thanksgiving with us. He was so happy.
Oh,
I just can't wrap my brain around why he is gone. Like, who would take him? Like, he only had a couple of $1,000s in the bank. Like, why would they take him?
Have you been able to figure out how much he took out of the bank?
Yes.
How much?
We have hacked into his account, and there's $1,000 that can be taken out at one time. So there's a limit in the bank that you can only take out $1,000 at an ATM. So we're thinking they took him, went to another bank, took $1,000, and then at 12 o'clock midnight, they went and took the other.
So you actually see do you see these? Yeah, you can actually see the amounts that were taken out. You can see it. So there was two $1,000 withdrawals. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and all his shit started to bounce. All his shit started to bounce, all the bills coming in.
Wow, that's crazy.
And we see that. My daughter actually, literally found his passwords and, got into his account and figured it out. We have a total timeline, and we gave it to the cops, and we told them everything that we know.
God, what a nightmare. Can you, how about, you want to go through the timeline then? What you have?
Yes, I can send it to you. It's written out on paper.
Okay, if you could, you can scan it in or whatever, but why don't you can I give you my email?
Yes, give me your email.
Yeah, it's GRAY, like the color, GRAY, and then H, like the letter H, and then UZE. So GRAY.
Hang on, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Hang on.
Well, I can put it in the chat too, if that's easier. I can put it in the chat. So.
Yes, please do. Okay, so it's GRAY. And
then HUZE. ZE, and then the number 2 at gmail.com. So GRAY. HUZE2@gmail.com.
At Gmail. Okay, I got it.
So does he have any mental issues at all that you're aware of?
No.
That's a little bit disturbing.
Was in band. This kid graduated from Sam Houston with a GPA. He had straight A's. He had notes that would tell him, you know, he had goals. He would cross out the goals as he would go along. Like, I made straight A's. Okay, scratch that out. I have a new savings account. Scratch that out. Like, this dude was so good. And
wow.
Just, I am beside myself. Why would somebody take him? Why?
Well, how come they're not
$2,000?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty, you know, 2,000. A lot of people do stuff for less than that. But is there cameras on? I mean, when are you guys going to get access to the cameras from the bank? I mean, that's just going to tell the story.
I don't know. Homicide. HPD has taken over, and homicide detectives have taken over because his mother received a call from someone that was offering, like, they wanted a ransom, like, for $20,000. And it's because she posted a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and the cops think that, you know, like, it's a fake call. So
yeah, it's probably just somebody trying to take advantage of the situation.
Yeah. So we're just getting all kinds of different angles, and we just need to know. We need to see the footage, and we need to know the transaction, like which bank was. You know,
it's weird too, because the side of the bank that has where you say the phone was, there's no cameras there. It's crazy. Maybe they have one that's secret.
Oh, there are cameras, but they had to subpoena.
Well, I see a camera at the right next to the actual machine, the withdrawal. It's right here. I can see it. But the side of the building, just around the side where the electrical stuff is, and where it says Capital One, and there's two windows. It doesn't look like at this time. I mean, this is back in, well, this is February 2020 Street View that I'm looking at. I don't see any cameras. There might be one that's hidden somewhere that I can't see, but there is one directly out by the ATM.
Banks. Remember, there's the bank that is next to his job.
Yeah.
And then there's a bank that is like 15 minutes away down the street, and that's what we can't figure out.
Yeah, well, the Kroger's one is.
Why would he go?
Yeah. The Kroger's bank is the one that we're looking at. That's where he was seen on the camera at this ATM. Do you know where the other ATM was that he took the money out? The second one?
Yes. It's down the street, like 15 minutes away, like at another Capital One. The closest Capital One bank that you can find down the street is where he went. And it is so weird that he would go there instead of the closest one to his job, which is Valoric. And he was on his lunch break, and was like, he went to Mr. Car Wash. Look for Mr. Car Wash.
Okay.
Which is across the street from the first Capital One bank that is next to Valoric, his job.
Okay.
He went to wash his car. Okay.
I don't see one right next to the Valoric where you work. Are you talking about the one? Well, I want to make sure I got the right Valoric. So can you describe that better? Is it the one on West Sam Houston Parkway with a let's see. Yeah, there is a car wash there. What's the name of it? This one says
Car Wash.
This one said, it does say car wash. Let me just go down the street because it didn't list it for some reason. Is there a Shell station there too, or?
There's a Q gas station right across the street, and that's where we think he went to fill up his tire because it had a nail in it that he noticed at Mr. Car Wash.
Okay, here's what we need to do though. I need to get this stuff dialed in. So let's make sure we got the right valoric oil and gas, okay? Because it's all over the place.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
can you try to describe where that is?
Okay. It is off of the Beltway.
Okay, Beltway. Is that Sam?
Let me look it up. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's all right.
I can't really tell
That's
you
all right.
exactly.
I want to get
where it
all
is,
these things
but
dialed in so we can.
It's on Voss Road and San Felipe.
Okay, so that's not where I am.
In the city center, it's called City Center. It's at like a high-end area. Like everybody's rich down there.
Okay, so you said Voss Road and what was that again?
San Felipe.
Oh, I think I just saw it. All right. Well, that's right next to. I mean, that's right where the bank is, the Capital One.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Yes.
looking for where he worked though, because you were saying that he went to car wash and another
Mr. Car Wash.
And where's that one located? Across the
It
street?
should be right across the street from his job.
Okay, now where is that though? Where he worked? That's what I'm looking
sorry,
for.
what?
I see. I'm trying to figure out where he worked right now.
Okay, Valoric Oil and Gas.
And so we already put that in there, but so VELLOREC oil and gas, and then when I do that, we go up in the air and there's a bunch of them. There's one to the west of the bank he was at. That's off of Del Monte Drive and City West Boulevard. Is that one?
That's it. Uh-huh.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not totally sure, but yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right. City Center, yeah.
Well, it's Del Monte Drive and then a City West Boulevard.
City West, yeah.
See, there's a whole bunch
Okay.
of them though. There's one that's north of the Capital One.
See, and that's the thing. I don't know. I just know that he would do like Zoom calls in the morning with his job and then go in after, like after lunch. So I'm not sure. I'll have to ask like around my people.
Okay, but he took
to
he
ask
took
exactly.
$1,000 out twice at two different Capital Ones, right?
Yeah.
And but one was what time was? So this one was at noon. One was the second one. What time was that?
Between 12 and 3 a.m. Because at 3:45 a.m. his shit started bouncing.
But doesn't it have an exact time when you go into the account? It doesn't tell you.
We can't get into his account.
Oh.
We can see his emails. So we can't actually get into his bank account because we tried to figure it out, but we couldn't. But we actually hacked into his email, his Gmail, so we could see like what was being emailed to him, and his shit was being bounced, like AT&T, like Xfinity, his cable was being bounced at that point, and we were like, what the fuck? Like, he has money in there.
Yeah.
He just got paid on Wednesday.
So he just got paid on Wednesday, and what day did he do this? On what day of the week?
He got kidnapped or whatever on Thursday.
Yeah, whatever happened. That was Thursday?
Yeah.
Wow, so the very next day... So somebody...
And then the very next day, the shit started bouncing. Like, everything. At actually 3:45 a.m. On Friday, or Friday night, Saturday morning at 3:45 a.m., it just, like, we could tell, like, everything was cleaned out.
Wow.
Because his emails were like, oh, you don't have enough in this account,
Now they better get on this quickly because there's all kinds of cameras all over the place that could track where he was going.
yeah.
You know.
And they know, and we know. So they're just not telling us exactly what they see. And I don't want to speculate any more than what I should probably say because there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the thing is he is such a great kid. And I would hate to see anything happen to him. He did nothing wrong. Like, he's the least person you would think that would get, you know.
Yeah.
He's not rich. He's not a millionaire. You know. Why would someone kidnap him? Why not just rob him at the ATM and then, you know, like, take his money and then go? You know what I mean?
Was there anybody that maybe was interested in your daughter prior to him that might have been jealous of something? Or
Well,
I mean, you don't have to say any names.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Yes. Both of them had, you know, prior relationships, but they had been seeing each other for over a year.
Yeah.
And the thing is I personally, because they stay at my house, so I know their routine. They would get up in the morning, go to work, come home. I would cook them dinner. They would eat, go to bed. Watch a movie, go to bed. Like, and get up and do the same thing every day. Like, on the weekends, maybe they would go downtown and, like, go to a club or something. But it's normal. Everything's normal here. Like, I don't see anyone having a vendetta against him at all. Like, at all. Unless he was mixed up into something, like, with his company or with the bank, like laundering money. I you know, the kid he was smart and he was an accountant. So I don't know. You know, he was tight-lipped. Like, he was very, like, a shy kid, you know? Like, he was a mathematician.
Yeah.
Literally, he was a math wizard.
Well, maybe we can get you, maybe your daughter. We can, you know, tomorrow we can have you call in and let's try to get more really specific on times and locations and things.
Okay.
Because I need to know.
I have the timeline that
yeah.
she made.
So does the timeline have like addresses of various car washes and things like that? You know, the banks.
I mean, it has text message times and Snapchat time, and it doesn't have. I mean, we could get the location. That's not a problem.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I mean, we could totally do that.
Yeah, that'd be great. But so would you just type it up again, or do you scan it in, or how would you send it? Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll get on that for sure, and I'll find out exactly the addresses. I mean, I have it. It's just I'm not prepared to talk to you right now. So. Yeah.
I don't even know how you saw that I was on. I was just ending the show. Did you see the hashtag? Because I just put that in like 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden you showed up, man. Those hashtags must really work or something.
I love you, dude. Like, I've been listening to you for a long time, and you know, the thing is it's hitting home now, so I need answers.
Oh, so you've actually listened to my show before randomly, huh?
I'm sorry, what?
You've actually listened to my show before just randomly. I mean,
yes, absolutely. I'm a subscriber. Like,
weird.
I have listened to you. I actually had a girlfriend that was murdered in like 1991. But, you know, it's okay. You know,
man, sorry you're going through all this.
It's part of Houston, man. We live in Houston. It's a crazy town.
Wow.
So,
Well, let's maybe we can plan. I'll give you a call, and I think I have the number. Let me just see if it's right here. I don't know if it worked.
281.
Oh yeah, there it is right there. Yeah, so I see it right there. So maybe I'll give you a call tomorrow, and we can set something up. But try to get the timeline over so I can get everything all set up on a map, and we can go over it again.
I will. I'm going to email you now.
All right. Well, check the chat and verify that, because I'm going to type in right now my email address again, and I want to make sure that you got the right one. I know you wrote it down, but sometimes it's hard. You know, when I say HUZE, they're like, "What is it?" You know, they might type it.
And his mom has actually hired a private investigator.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, already. And his dad is from Colombia. Like, he's part black and part Colombian. I'm like, I mean, I don't know. My mind is everywhere.
No, I could imagine. I could imagine. But yeah, send me that email, and let's talk tomorrow. And I'm really sorry you're having to go through this. Must be an absolute nightmare. So.
It is. Thank you, honey. God bless you. I appreciate everything that you do.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for talking to me and taking the time to talk to me.
All right. Well, try to get some sleep, and we'll talk to you tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that was crazy. Just randomly right at the end of the show right there. So then we have to get a hold of her, get the timeline set up. I hope they get some answers here. But you could definitely had a little bit more of a nefarious tone of what was going on near the end. I mean, just the whole scenario there. I mean, you could make an argument for something planned too, but it doesn't sound like it. Why would you buy a Christmas tree? The various things like that. You get what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. So what I'm going to probably do is, like, I don't know if I'll do it tonight or later, but now I'm going to edit out this part and make a standalone video of just this portion, and then we'll continue on tomorrow. Yeah, it's weird too on that bank. You guys probably saw what I was looking at on the screen. There doesn't seem to be any cameras around on this side right here. I'm not sure why you wouldn't put a camera every 5 feet around a bank. You know, like, that's what I would do. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I think we're going to end the show now. I'll see if I can get that timeline. And, you know, Alicia, hang in there. And thank you for calling in to let us know what's going on. It sounds like it's really tough, and I can see why. So we'll definitely start looking more into this one. Pretty crazy. I guess we saved the last case, the last case to the end, and it oddly worked out where we could actually have a caller call in the mother of the girlfriend of the missing person, Alicia. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And I'll just play the rap again. All right, see you. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gregel's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool
Deflector, interceptor, and I'm
on his pector with. Wow, what the heck was that, Mary Lou? Just remember, I got temple fucking check. Mary Lou sounded like she had a couple drinks. I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Look at Lee D. Yikes. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Oh, God. All right, you guys. See you guys later. Yeah, I'll let Mary Lou know that, LM.